This week was all about hardware, with Nintendo releasing a bucket load of Wii U details, including dates and prices, and Apple jumping on the bandwagon with a new iPhone on the way. Gamers were involved in politics in a variety of different forms, from censorship to accusations of terrorism to a long-time gamer losing his life in a terrifying Syrian attack. We get a good look at Akaneiro, Game Connect Asia Pacific is announced, Kojima Productions is hiring, the 38 Studios saga continues, Valve unveils Big Picture Mode, and we finally get to see the game once known as Overstrike, all in this week's edition of Player Attack. Hi, I'm Jessica Citizen. All eyes on Nintendo. The Wii U has been priced and dated in major regions around the world. Gamers have started counting their pennies and marking the days, with the first of the next-gen consoles set to arrive on shelves well before Christmas. November 18th is the magic date if you live in the US, November 30th in Europe, Australia and New Zealand, and December 8th in Japan. Now, that's about what we expected. What we didn't expect is the fact the console comes in two versions. The white basic pack costs $300 US or 350 Australian and gets you a console, gamepad and 8GB of internal storage. There's also the black premium pack, which includes all of that, plus a couple of stands, a charging cradle, a sensor bar and the Nintendo Land software. It'll set you back $350 US or 430 Australian. Both versions are set to upset hardware retailers by including an HDMI cable in the bundle, and European prices have not yet been announced. The launch Windows software lineup is stellar, with every major third-party publisher on board and releasing a game or two between November and March next year. We're talking some we already knew about: Black Ops 2, Zombie U, Mass Effect 3, Scribblenauts Unlimited and Rayman Legends, as well as Nintendo's own offerings like Nintendo Land and new Super Mario Bros. U. There are, however, a few surprises also tucked into the list, and none bigger than Bayonetta 2, which has been snatched up by Nintendo and released as a Wii U exclusive. But that wasn't the only big hardware announcement this week. Apple also had a moment in the spotlight, announcing the very shiny iPhone 5. If you're a fan of motorsports and video games, you'd have been a bit impressed by a moment about 25 minutes into the keynote presentation, which saw Aussie developer Rob Murray take to the stage to chat a bit about Real Racing 3, the newest game from Fire Monkeys. Matching Apple's progress step for step, this new Real Racing experience is the most stunning yet, thanks to the Retina display. But the real changes are behind the scenes, with the handset's new processing power able to add all sorts of bells and whistles to the in-game cars. Expect dynamic reflections, leather interiors, pearlescent paint, and reflective chrome alloys. That, and there's time-shifted multiplayer thanks to Game Center on iOS 6, and to keep an eye on your competitors, a new rear-view mirror. While Real Racing is speeding its way to the new iPhone, Lili is skipping her way over to the brand new iPod Touch. The game, created by Gears of War veteran designers, is optimised for the new hardware, utilising the dual-core A5 chip to access up to twice the processing power and up to 7 times the graphical performance of its predecessor. If you don't have a new iDevice for Lili or Real Racing 3, don't stress, you will still be able to play, but it just won't look as good. It was also an interesting week for gamers in politics, and not necessarily the way we're used to. Firstly, the Australian Classification Board revealed the new guidelines for the classification of computer games, that is, the rules which will determine which games will be given an R18 adult rating when the laws kick in 2013. And somewhat predictably, gamers are less than impressed, with many claiming the new adults-only rating is just a rebadged version of the MA15+ we've had for years. The new guidelines come into effect nationally on January 1st, with each individual state and territory able to choose just how they'd like to implement them. That's the sort of political activity we're used to. We're not used to seeing game developers arrested for allegedly taking photos and video of a military facility in Greece, but that's exactly what happened to 2 Bohemia Interactive staffers this week. The Czech men were, according to Bohemia's official statement, taking a holiday and enjoying the glorious Greek islands. They were not, despite early reports, taking photographs which would then be used in the development of Arma 3. On a totally different note, and proving that gamers are indeed everywhere, Sean Smith, a US State Department official killed in the US consulate attack this week in Libya, was better known online as Vile Rat, a high-ranking EVE Online player and director of the notorious Goonswarm Alliance. Akaneiro, Demon Hunters, the Japanese-inspired interpretation of Little Red Riding Hood, currently in the works at American McGee's Spicy Horse Studios in Shanghai. The game has been in development for what feels like forever, but this is our first real look at what we're actually in for. Akaneiro, Angry Red, is a unique, free-to-play action RPG, but not the naggy, spammy, unbalanced kind. It's set in a hand-painted world full of bizarre characters, ancient demons, and fantastic locations. Spicy Horse is currently taking names for the upcoming closed beta, with the game headed to PC, Facebook, and other online clients, plus Android tablets in the not-so-distant future. Coming up even quicker than that is Game Connect Asia Pacific, announced for Melbourne in October with the theme of Inspire. This year there's a heavy focus on best practices in design and production, replacing traditional hour-long lectures with intensive masterclasses hosted by game developers from around the world. GCAP 2012 will hit the Melbourne Convention and Exhibition Centre on October 22 and 23. Quick things. Hideo Kojima's company Kojima Productions is now looking for artists, programmers and animators to help produce the core foundation of a 3D action game in a new studio based out of Los Angeles. Could the next Metal Gear be made in the USA? The second content update for The Secret World was delayed by a few days this week after Funcom discovered a potentially severe exploit lurking in the new code. The nature of the bug was not revealed, but developers are making sure it is completely gone before release, meaning the Digging Deeper update won't hit until sometime next week. The 38 Studios saga has almost ground to a halt, with lawyers selling off the hard goods left behind by the bankrupt Kingdoms of Amalur developer. If you happen to be in Rhode Island in early October, you could snag yourself a bargain, but we're expecting it to mostly be desks, shelves and office furniture, rather than the unfinished code for Project Copernicus. Valve has unveiled its big picture mode after a mainstream media tease in the New York Times. With a little extra cabling followed by the press of a button, your Steam content will appear right on your TV with a new interface designed specifically for readability and interaction. You'll still be able to use a keyboard and mouse if that's your thing, but Big Picture is also compatible with game controllers of all shapes and sizes. And finally this week, we very nearly didn't get to see this first look Fuse trailer. An 11th hour legal issue meant that Insomniac's glorious countdown kinda fizzled out, with the video kept tightly under wraps.
Be the joker, play the fool, politics, ain't it all, smoking mirrors, April fools, all year round, all in all, just another brick in the wall, with murder in the schools, use 4 letters swear words, cause we call, truth is here, we all stir, we cheat and lie, it's so absurd, feed the fear, that's what we've learned, fuel the fire, make it burn. I said, boy, what you looking at, you little rich boy, oh, right here.
That's your 4-person co-op team right there. Dalton Brooks is an ex-mercenary with his own mag shield. Naya Devereaux is a professional thief able to cloak herself. Jacob Kimball has a very impressive crossbow which fires charged chain reaction bolts. And young Izzy Sinclair can either fire med beacons to heal or fire a shattergun to do precisely the opposite. Fuse is due out from Insomniac Games and EA partners in March 2013 for PC, PS3 and Xbox 360. For the full version of those trailers or for more information on any of these stories, head to playerattack.com. I'm Jessica Citizen. We'll see you next week.